Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Today I'm making a new recipe. I've never tried this one before, but it looked really worth a try, very delicious. It's called creamy chicken pot pie with wild rice. So I started my skillet with grated carrot, garlic, and olive oil, cooked that up, and then I added to that a pound of chopped chicken breast. So that is cooking up. It's smelling really good here with that garlic. And then I had pre-cooked my rice the night before, last night. So I used a combination, and I'll show you this, of a blend. So it's not just wild rice, but it's a couple types of brown rice, some red rice, and then the wild rice in here. So just a blend of that. And I made 2 cups of that dry in my rice cooker. And you add, when you're cooking rice, usually about 1 3/4 to 2 cups of water per 1 cup of rice. So if you can keep that as a general rule, you always need a little more liquid than the amount of rice or grain that you're cooking. So to this mixture, I'm going to go ahead and add a cup of frozen peas. And you can see that we're going to start to get some good color in this dish here. Colorful always means more nutrients, different types of antioxidants. And then I'm going to begin to add my cooked rice to this. So I still have it in the little pot that I put in the fridge overnight from my cooker. And as you can see, it's got a lot of nice color in there too, because it had the red, the white, the brown, and the wild rice in there. I'm just not sure if this 2 cups that I cooked dry, if it's going to be way more than what I want in this dish. So I'm going to be a little cautious in adding all of it. I'm going to add that's a little bit more than half, and then just give that a stir and see how that looks. This is it's going to be a very filling and satisfying dish, and the recipe will be on my Pinterest page. The recipe says it makes 10 servings at about 28 grams of carb per serving. So it could definitely fit into a lunch or a dinner meal. And that's really looking pretty. You can see all the nice color in there. And I think I'll go ahead and add a little bit more. I'm not sure, again, if I'm going to add all of this. I want to be a little careful. I don't want it to get too dry. I don't want it to be just all rice either. So you can always modify your recipe a little bit, especially if you're cooking on the stove and you're not working with yeast or baking powder or something like that. But I think that's looking real pretty right there with the colors. So I am going to go ahead to this now and add, I've got 1/3 cup of chicken broth. And I might decide to add the rest of the rice here once I add my liquid. And then it called for a cup of half and half. So I made my own. I like to make a little bit healthier version that doesn't have quite as much saturated fat. So I went ahead and used a cup of, I had skim milk on hand, not a cup, 2/3 of a cup of skim milk, which I had on hand. I added 2 tablespoons of olive oil to that, so you get more monounsaturated fats with that. And then I filled up to the cup line with water. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that in. I mean, mainly what you want from half and half when you're cooking is that oil. Now, certainly this wouldn't work if you were trying to whip the half and half as trying to make it into a cream for a dessert or something like that. But you can certainly do this when you're adding half and half to a recipe. So this is looking pretty good. So it just says then to bring that up to a boil, which I will do. And then for topping on that, it calls for a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. So I'll melt some of the Parmesan cheese on top of that before serving. So that is creamy chicken and wild rice, a new dish to try. And I hope you will make it. Again, the recipe's on my Pinterest page, and enjoy.